exciting contest. We will load right into Coastline, and as you can see, sno0ken knows will start on defense, and Meepy secretly lackey renewals, and sno0ken will be the folks to pin, I guess, their hopes and dreams on and claim that third place. Well, Millenium tries to stop them.
So we were actually, we talked about this earlier, is that I wholeheartedly expect this to be going to the third map. These two teams are so evenly matched, it's kind of ridiculous. And as sno0ken knows goes to Penthouse Theater, the most commonly defended bomb site on this map, that is no surprise. Millenium are going to be bringing a completely normal attack lineup except for the Capital, and that is interesting. I'm curious to see what he's going to be bringing to the Millenium's side on this attack. However, we've seen some good use from him in the past. I mean, if you're coming onto master bedroom, usually the way the defenders will hold that is from projector using echo drones and C4 and vertical pressure from below and similar things. If you bring a Capital, you can cut off projector pretty single-handedly using his bolts, and then you can go for a bomb plant, or diffuser plant rather, anywhere inside of B.
And this is a site as well that one of the cool things that we saw about sno0ken knows last time was, if you remember, they blew open that entire floor just next to, in actual call it, right next to that circle couch. They blew out the entire floor and had Meepy playing beneath, and he could pick away at the next Kairos onto the wall leading into bedroom. As you can see, Marcio is homing in right now on it. Right there is where he had him playing last time, and just above, so he could stop where sno0ken is sitting right now from those X-Kairos from going off and blowing open that wall. And it was a great play, and we might just see it again.
Right, you are. And now the holes that have been opened up in the far side of Master are going to be very telling of a roam game downstairs for the defenders. It's likely that Millenium will have to either focus a lot of their attention down there early in the round, or they will have to at least get an aggressive push into the main master bedroom early into the round. Either way, they've got to start applying pressure fast, because if they let it linger, the C4 from below from Meepy will likely be all that it takes to deny the round for the attackers outright.
And they'll have Meepy situated inside of that sunrise bar rather than in the kitchen or surrounding area. And of course, he'll be able to get anybody on that terrace above looking to push inside a hookah, and the invisible gun of Ares doing work on that barricade.
Not a lot of time has pushed forward here. Millenium, nice camera there that they are going to be taking out. I don't think that Lackey was expecting that one to be found quite so easily, but the Twitch drone will be aware of it. Now, as Millenium progresses in this round, it looks like they're going for, again, the very typical VIP take. They're going to try and open up that A wall. They're going to try and deny any serious pressure coming from below. But the problem is that they're not applying that focus onto the roamers downstairs, and they're kind of skipping a step on this attack in that sense.
Renshiro hold up inside of that Hall of Fame, inside of the, I guess, the red hallway. Can't position himself on that window, which is where we usually see the Blackbeard do so much work. Has managed to take a portion of sno0ken Know's health off. First kill, Yogurts comes in, and sno0ken goes down, and Lackey soon follows, as Millenium now gets 2, and add to that 3 as Renshiro finishes off secretly, and they're still going to wait. As you can see, Meepy has been able to get underneath, and Renewals 2 waiting. But Meepy gets finished out by Liven, and this is just a landslide at the moment as Yogurts is going to push in, and Renewals gets that kill, but Liven finishes him off, and Millenium looks fearsome after round number 1.
So Millenium, no focus placed on the roamers, but it didn't matter because they killed every single one of the anchors before they even contested the site directly, which is honestly staggering. And we'll see if they're able to recover, or we'll see if sno0ken Knows is able to recover from that shocking and quick defeat. Now, the roamers downstairs were not actually influencing the round in a way that I would say is... it just kind of seemed like it was lackluster. They had the Pulse over by the bar, really over far by the sunrise bar, and he wasn't doing very much. Meanwhile, we saw there the Ella inside of kitchen storage specific, or actually rather bathrooms, pardon me, not really doing a lot either because there was nobody pushing through the main door into B.
No, and I'm not exactly certain why Meepy was stationed under there unless he was expecting a run out, because with that heartbeat sensor, he was doing a good job of assessing who was on that terrace and pushing into hookah, but you could see there was nobody at all from Millenium, or sorry, from sno0ken Knows that was ready to greet them inside of that push. Of course, they were all largely stacked up inside of projector room and the bedroom. For Millenium, I guess they are kind of showing us exactly why they would pick and opt to go for this site, because that was a commanding first performance. And now on defense, Europe has been taking an awful lot to Sunrise and Blue Bar. This is a site that we haven't seen North America play very much. In fact, well, Coastline hasn't really popped up much for North America at all. But if you look here, a lot of EU teams have been rolling with this first, and it's something that we saw Supremacy used a lot of as well, and sno0ken actually seemed to handle it quite well, and I'm curious to know if maybe Millenium is going to be able to hold it better.
I mean, it's not exactly a difficult hold. It's one of those ones that's, you have to be very calculated in the way that you set it up. Each and every hole you make is meaning, and you have to decide if it's rotation or just a murder hole. And it really just comes down to having a predetermined plan. Now, the problem with that is that sno0ken knows, as the attackers, if they can read this predetermined plan and they understand it well enough, it becomes a very easy situation for them to counter this hold. However, because of the slight abnormality, I would say, of the bomb site itself, it's likely that sno0ken doesn't have as much experience with this hold as any other bomb site. It's the same thing we talked about with Consulate. The first floor, while easily defensible, isn't very commonly held, so you don't see a lot of practice there. Secretly gonna get a swift double kill onto Jagertson Aries. That was an excellent shot there. He's also gonna dodge C4 from below. Meanwhile, sno0ken takes out Steezy, and this is the same sort of swiftness we saw from Millenium now in favor of sno0ken. The attack is clearly favored in this map.
And a very small portion of health left on Secretly, but he still has 4 members of his team left upright, and we get very close to a flawless round if they can flush out Renshiro and Liven. And they're just looking to try to get in. Renshiro is the only one on site. He's getting a lot of pressure from the Buck, who secretly isn't even playing the Buck. Renewals is, and that is a bit of an interesting change just because of the fact that we have seen so much work from Secretly be done on Buck, especially on this map. Now, Renshiro was waiting for the push-in from sno0ken, but is going to get under fire. Liven is going to dive in, and Meepy goes down. That'll be the first kill for the French team of Millenium, and now Renshiro looking to try to hold on, but wow, Lackey and sno0ken, 2 quick bursts. Millenium falls, and these have been very, very convincing rounds both way around it so far.
The attackers seriously having a great idea of what they're doing here, and both teams being a little too aggressive, I think, on their actual anchors, peeking angles when they're holding on defense. Just instead of just waiting patiently for the push to come, or playing in situations where their position is exposed to an easily acquired angle from the attackers. It's kind of an interesting set of circumstances for both of these teams, and I wonder if we're going to see one of them start to get a little bit more hunkered down inside the actual bomb site in positions that cannot easily be attained by the attackers. I'm not sure. I mean, you can see here the standout performer so far, just 2 rounds in, is going to be LZP, but I mean, nobody else really making any significant outreaches. I would say for most part, it's just kind of a even split for each of these teams.
Liven has done a tremendous job of his team too. It's something that we saw before in the past where he can almost single-handedly keep his team in contention. Of course, doesn't really work all the time because, as has been said many times, bears repeating, this is very much a team game, and one individual performer not usually good enough to keep an entire team afloat. Now, as sno0ken will go downstairs, no team successful on defense so far. The attackers have been in very formidable shape, but instead of opting to go upstairs, the Sunrise Blue Bar, which I think they just saw maybe not be the easiest to defend.
Yeah, but we'll see if sno0ken can make good work of it. I mean, it makes sense that they're going to go to the Sunrise Blue Bar instead, because their previous defense just did not work out for them. And now neither of these teams are wanting to go back to Master Projector just yet, and I think that makes a lot of sense too, because while it is, yes, the most defended bomb site, is also, hey, the most defended bomb site, which means, again, the practice is there. Now on a map like Coastline, you want to go for the most abnormal possible, because the whole notion of the map itself is abnormality, and that is what's going to give you the most advantage. Now, you could see Millenium attempting to challenge from the south lobby. Now, this is a typical position to be aggressing on. The big thing, though, the reason that this is dangerous is because the defenders can most commonly just run out right above on the balcony and get a good flank off. We saw it last round. Despite the loss of the defense, the Ella came out and flanked Meepy. Meepy was just a little too slow on the reaction and couldn't get the kill. Meanwhile, secretly going to be eliminated here by Yogurts, and it looks like the roam game is well within hand for Millenium. They have established control of that top floor. Renshiro going to lose one of his shields as he challenges onto B. Meanwhile, Yogurt's a headshot onto Lackey, and it's looking great here from Millenium. Again, another attacker-centric round.
Good job from the Twitch. You can see the Blackbeard working away there, trying to get the bomb down, can't do it. Aries goes down to Meepy, and now Steezy waiting to try to get it. Yogurt's another kill. He's on fire so far this round as away Renewals goes, but he gets shredded. sno0ken managed to pick up the kill and will now try to stop them from getting the plant down, but a second too late as that diffuser is successful, and now the flashes will go off. A tough task for sno0ken Knows to retake the site as both Meepy and sno0ken sit at just a tiny portion of their HP. Meepy will crouch in, looks around the corner, gives himself away. Renshiro sees him, and using that shield, it's going to be very difficult for him to come up. sno0ken's going to push out. He'll get one. Oh, and another. Meepy joins in, and Steezy goes down. Only Liven is left, and you can see them working away on that diffuser. He'll peek the corner. He'll get 1 and 2. Liven, a great finish to the round as Millenium hangs on.
2-1 and a continuation of the trend. The attacking team coming out on top. Unfortunately, that pulse looking just the wrong direction, and now round 4 is going to come in. Where will we see the defense go for Millenium? Are they going to try and force out the double bar again, or will they go somewhere else? It will be a double bar defense for Millenium. That is surprising, I would say. We saw sno0ken Knows trying to attempt a rotation. It almost worked out for them. Came closer than any other defense round so far, but it just wasn't enough. So if maybe Millenium starts going somewhere else, like, for example, Master Projector, will we see that same sort of pseudo-success?
That is, of course, the closest round on attack thus far, or on defense, rather. Eventually, at some point, I imagine these defensive holds will start to work, but it needs a bit of time for them to flesh it out entirely and be able to really get a feel of where it's going. Your scoreboard right now, Yogurts had a great round there, but Liven stole the show at the end and is doing an impressive job. Both those members of the team, of course, big parts of why Millenium has been so competitive and at the moment finds themselves in the lead. Now, what differences should we be looking at on this site now? It looks like a similar strategy at the moment. They had the castle upstairs just outside of Aquarium, a rotate hole in the wall. What are you going to do to rebuff the push of sno0ken Knows? Because they basically just walked in completely unabated. There was no challenge, and they cleaned up last time around.
So what I would be doing here in this situation is investing a lot more in the top floor, but also making sure whoever's playing Anchor has a position whereby they aren't going to be exposed to the roam, like just any random attacker walking into an angle and saying, oh look, there's somebody not looking at me and I'm going to get a free kill. We've seen that a couple times from Millenium in their actual anchors, just in the wrong position at the wrong time, getting caught off guard and losing their lives. So even if your roam game upstairs stays alive and denies the push and holds their ground, then it's not going to matter if the attackers can just walk in through South Lobby and get a plant. So there needs to be a little bit of teamwork, but I think that Millenium's got it well within hand. It looks like they're placing a lot of emphasis where it's necessary in this round, as they have Castle barricaded off Aqua to Billiards and are playing inside of Billiards with a great position. Renewals, though, first kill of the round onto Yogurts. That's going to be the one of the roamers gone, and again, the pressure from the south coming out here from sno0ken, this time to start us off upstairs. They will have also Billiards well within hand, but Billiards bar still maintains a hold on one of the defenders.
Great bout of information gathering from Liven at the moment as he sits inside of the office. He has the ability to look up to the balcony above and just waiting on Renshiro to get the go-ahead call, and down goes secretly as Lackey takes out the pulse of Liven, and still an advantage in favor of the attackers at the moment. Only 3 defenders remaining as we reach the halfway mark. You still have your castle, you still have your smoke, most importantly, and Aries is now going to even it out as down goes the buck. Those are the frag grenades off the board, and of course, that destructibility through the floor as sno0ken of his own team eliminates Steezy, and that now with the smoke off spells trouble.
So the attackers, top floor control. They also have somebody flanking from the lobby, but there's still the X factor in the roam game from, no roam game, just the anchors holding up inside of Sunrise Bar. They actually don't have much control at all. They're going to be in a position whereby they have to force themselves out of the B-bomb site before they can really get any ground, and Lackey is going to cut off the rotation between B and A, and that is oh so important as he gets another kill onto Renshiro.
Aries, the last one left, sitting in that wonderful foliage in the hallway just by Sunrise Bar, and he's going to need to try to get up those cool vibe stairs. Meepy is up on a drone, but Meepy will get off. He sees Aries, and what a nice peek around the corner. sno0ken takes that, and we are 2-2. The community vote so far looking to be quite prophetic, as both teams holding very even.
And it's entirely attacker-sided. So, when are we going to start seeing the serious mix-up? Is sno0ken going to take us to a third bomb site, or are they going to go back to Master Projector? They will indeed. It is going to be the standardized bomb site here from sno0ken. Now, last time they went here, what happened? They had a roam game that ultimately did not influence the round in any way whatsoever, whereby the Pulse was already all the way over by Sunrise, gathering information but not getting any kills or denying any time. And then there was a Ella down in the bathroom of the first floor, and that Ella accomplished effectively nothing because the push did not come in directly from the trophy hallway. Then after that, you saw the attackers clear up all of the roamers inside of Projector without any serious contention, and it was a pretty clear-cut round from there.
And I'm surprised with how close it got. Now the fact that we are once again looking at the defense, just needing to find something that works. Really, it's going to be a situation where you're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it to try to fix something. Now, of course, a big focus of sno0ken defense when they go upstairs is playing underneath. And for a team, usually what you'll see flush them out is either an aggressive Ashe or a Buck, because, of course, a big portion of your attack on this site revolves around that Buck getting underneath, taking out any of the gadgets that they need to, and then putting pressure on them while you push in either through VIP, or Projector Room rather, or then through VIP into the bedroom. There is no Buck being run by Millenium, and I think that's going to put some pressure onto Liven, but last time around, we didn't see Millenium use their Ashe in that manner. So that allowed Meepy to sit underneath and just wait. Of course, they did flush him out eventually, but it took them quite a while. And I think if Meepy goes down early on, that spells disaster for sno0ken here.
I mean, Meepy doesn't just need to not die early on, though. He needs to be able to influence the rounds somehow. He needs to get a kill. He needs to deny something. He needs to use a C4 in a meaningful way. I mean, he's got to accomplish something here over by Sunrise. And knowing Meepy, he's definitely got the potential to do it. But because Millenium is just avoiding him, unintentionally, of course, but they are straight up avoiding him, he is rendered useless in that position. So basically what needs to happen for Meepy is he needs to read this as, oh, there's no one pushing from Sunrise, and I need to go somewhere else. Yagert's going to get the first kill of the round onto Secretly. That is one of the roamers downstairs, and already it's looking pretty bad here for the defense yet again.
Was that a kill through the drone hole? It sure looks like it was shot at through the drone hole, but I can't exactly tell. It's tough now that we're many seconds removed. You can see Meepy doing Liven's job, but returning the favor as sno0ken is going to be under fire and somehow manages to win that fight onto the Blackbeard. That is not supposed to happen at all. And one of the centerpieces of this similar attack that we are seeing unfold was having Renshiro post up at the Hall of Fame doorway and putting pressure onto those sites. He's gone now, so that will not be something that they are able to repeat because of a wonderful shot around that bomb by sno0ken. That'll leave Yagert's to do most of the heavy lifting as he'll move towards the site and almost manages to get sno0ken, but now he'll have to breathe in that toxic gas. He'll get around to the corner. Yagert's not holding on to the bomb. A great C4 from Meepy will finish him off, and now Liven trying to pressure the other FBI operator. Can't do it. Lackey takes out Aries, and the diffuser going down, but Lackey finishes up. We might see our first successful defensive hold here. It's just up to Liven, who falls as well, and Steezy down too. That's it. Defense wins. sno0ken finally breaks the streak, and the defenders get on the board.
Great job there to sno0ken, and a lot of it comes down to, again, Meepy finally realizing, all right, well, no Sunrise pressure. I'm going to go somewhere else, and doing a great job of denying the defuse plant earlier in the round with that C4. It did eventually go down, but it was still a collapse from sno0ken, and because Millenium had failed to get nearly as many anchor kills as they had the first time addressing that Master Projector hold, it was a pretty easy retake for sno0ken. Now, Blue Rise, Sunrise Bar going to be the defense again from Millenium. They haven't defended anything else yet, and it hasn't been working out so great for them.
No, not at all. And I don't know why they're going to go down here yet again, especially with how strong the attackers have been. But nonetheless, this is a... Oh, this is...
I don't know. I question this decision. I think that they should probably try to pick something else. And open up their options here. You can see Liven and Yogurts are the two standouts for Millenium right now, putting in a lot of work for the team, and that looks a lot like Ents versus Penta earlier today.
Right, there's 2 other sites on here that you can go to as well. You could see a hookah billiards hold, you could see a kitchen hold as well, but for whatever reason, Millenium not feeling confident on that, it could simply be something where, let's say, for example, that sno0ken did definitively win that ban phase. This could be the one map that Millenium thinks, hey, this is the one we're the least bad on, so let's go here first. But then again, if this is a site, or this is a bomb site, rather, sorry, let me
I still think that Millenium walked themselves into a ditch by picking Coastline.
Strongly agree.
To be honest, again, this is really through and through a map that sno0ken knows. They like their weird maps. At least that's what it's shown objectively through the data of their performance in the past. So I really just think that sno0ken is going to have an advantage here. And then going on to Oregon, I'm surprised by that pick. They clearly are going to be confident there, but at the same time, that is likely to be the more evenly matched map.
Right. And right now, I think if sno0ken takes this, it puts them in very good position to head to Oregon, which, yes, might be more evenly contested. One other standout so far that we haven't really touched upon is how early the lead deaths are happening. I don't know if it's just simply rotations a little bit too late as, you know, first little bout, but look at that. Steezy gets a kill on us secretly, and this is, I think, like the 4th or 5th round in a row that somebody has died in the first minute. sno0ken will answer back as down goes Yogurts.
Yeah, today has been a really fast-paced day between the match we just watched with Penta and Ents, and now sno0ken versus Millenium. All 4 of these teams being very aggressive, and really contrasts the play that we saw with a couple days ago in Latin America. Renewal is going to get a kill on 2 Ares, and that's going to be a lead extension from sno0ken, and now a 3-on-3 as Renshiro takes out sno0ken elsewhere. And it's going to be evening out. Meepy eliminates Steezy, though, and now Renshiro challenging on to Renewals is not going to win that fight. Lackey's going to come up from behind and be the teammate he needs to be to get that kill. Now it's all down to Liven in a 1 versus 3. That has been a very quick round so far. We're only just barely hitting the half-round point, and now it's down to Liven on the roam game to be able to retake the bomb site from 3 attackers. That does not bode well.
No, this flurry of activity seems to be happening every time within the first 60 seconds. I don't know what it is. There's something in the water today here in Coastline, but now Liven's going to need to try to deal with that castle barricade, and he's essentially barricaded himself out, except Lackey will be picked up, and a nitro cell will at some point be used as a distraction. That will tip off sno0ken to where his location is, but he will, of course, go through another way. And you can see hold up just inside of that courtyard, but Diffuser going down. His job of claiming this round for his team and not going to match point just got even more difficult.
Yeah, and as you can tell, sno0ken not going to be doing anything unnecessary, just waiting patiently. It's likely to see Meepy get the kill here as you see the Pulse challenging from the hallway. Meepy's on the far angle inside of the other bomb site inside of A. He will actually lose that fight. Liven, an excellent headshot onto Meepy. Putting it into 1 versus 2, it's evening out somewhat, but he doesn't have a lot of time to defuse the Diffuser. He's going to have to contend from above, not see anyone, go back down, and he's out of time. So it was a nice try from Liven. He did get the excellent kill there onto the Ash, but unfortunately, despite getting him another kill onto Renewals, there's just not enough time to stop the Diffuser, and Lackey will get the final kill of the round. That is going to put it onto match point 4-2 now in favor of sno0ken.
And I think that is potentially going to be it because, though, maybe not, actually. sno0ken is now going to go to defense.
Right, and they've only won one of those.
And they're the only one who have won anything. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why these attacks are working so strongly. I think it really speaks to the fact that right now both these teams are not so confident and well-practiced here. We were giving a lot of praise to sno0ken for how they played on Coastline, but in all reality, it could have just been a match that they were able to cobble together very convincingly, and it might not be a map where they are the strongest, rather, and the most practiced on defense. I think that shows when an attacking team is able to pick your defense apart that profoundly. I think it's largely because you are not prepared as well on that map as you are on others.
I would argue that sno0ken is actually better at Skyscraper, and the fact that Skyscraper made it to the 3rd map is kind of weird to me. And again, Oregon is going to be, in my opinion, the evenly matched one. Millenium are going to have a better chance there. So it's likely I'm still thinking we're seeing map number 3 here between these 2 teams. I'm thinking Millenium, while they might lose here, they might still come back. the ones whoever comes out on top on or on Coastline is likely going to lose on Oregon just if through nothing else, sheer force of will, because there's a lot on the line for both of these teams in terms of placement inside of the Pro League and what that means for them.
Right. And like we've said before, it's a situation where sadly neither of these teams are competing for a land spot, but there is still bragging rights on the line.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not really even bragging. I don't know if it's bragging rights. It's more like understanding of one's position in the universe, thus allowing you to further, like, more accurately address the next season. Is how I think of it. Like, if you come in third place, you're like, yeah, we can make land next season, 100%. You come in fourth place and you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe we need to change our roster. Maybe we have to adjust this. You know, it's just a little bit less. Oh wow, a nice angle there from Meepy through the drop down, gonna take out Renshiro, but. Yeah, that is sno0ken knows now, putting it in 5-on-3 or 5-on-4 match point, and they're looking to lock things out.
And Renshiro going down, a Blackbeard plays a pretty significant role on this site, especially covering that window by Sunrise Bar and especially by Blue Bar, depending on how they want to push in. Now without Renshiro, it's going to be a monumental task. And Meepy's going to look to rotate. And next step here, Yogurt's going to try to dispel or dislodge, rather, those mirror windows. And hit by the LMI and will be Liven as he pushes in. Nobody really there to capitalize on it just yet. As Renewals gets around the corner, tries to get Aries, can't do it. He'll head back into Projector Room.
Yeah, Renewals playing a dangerous game there. While Liven was LMI'd, he very easily would have hit that shot. He had the lineup perfectly onto the Renewals angle, but because the Capcan didn't commit, you're not going to see the man count even out just yet. Another Capcan play, by the way. That is, honestly, he's really booming in all of the different regions as an operator because of the recent buff.
Liveness is back to Capcan, so if Renewals is able to sneak around this corner, he sees Aries, gets one, goes for two, he gets it! Renewals huge to put his team up by 3. That's a big play from him, and now secretly jumps in. It's just Yogurts left, one against the world. sno0ken finishes it off, and sno0ken is going to take map number 1 by a score of 5-2.
Brisk jog of a map, and now it's going to be moving on to map number 2, which is sno0ken's pick, Oregon. Millenium picked Coastline, which, again, I really think they walked themselves into, like, that was a bad decision.
It was not the greatest decision.
It was, okay, sure, not the greatest decision. And I think on Oregon, Millenium will definitely have a better shot, despite it being sno0ken's pick.
Right. And I'm not surprised to see this. Millenium needed a little bit of that luck that Supremacy had on this map. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for them. But now we head to Oregon, a map that is a bit more standardized, one that both teams should be very comfortable on. Now, of course, don't take it away from these teams, because even though almost every single team needs to have some level of proficiency on Oregon, there is a very clear divide between the teams that favor it strongly and those that only play it out of necessity. We will see which of these teams is more poised to strike as we head to it. But sno0ken knows now one away from getting 3rd overall, and like we said, that would be big for them since they are currently in search of an organization.
Right, you are. And as these highlights dwindle down, the 3rd map of the series, let's talk about it, Skyscraper. Again, we did briefly discussed how I think sno0ken knows probably won this ban phase overall. And if Millenium can make do on what I expect of them and win on Oregon, pushing it to that 3rd map, I don't know if they're going to have enough to push a win out on Skyscraper. That is, I would say that sno0ken knows is more proficient on Skyscraper than they are on Coastline by far. One
of the things that we have seen with sno0ken knows a number of times is that they don't typically tend to play close matchups. I think that I can't recall the last time that sno0ken knows played a match where it went really, really tight. I think it was 1 against Supremacy, but other than that, it seems to be like a 5-1 or a 5-2 in both directions. Either they get blown out or they end up dominating. As you can see, a 5-2 is pretty definitive here now. We'll load up Oregon and take you to the battlegrounds as sno0ken knows gives themselves one more potential opportunity to take 3rd place, or Millenium mounts its comeback here and now.
Laundry room, supply room from Millenium to start us off. That is the safer bet, I would say, when you're not sure what's going on in terms of momentum. You may as well take the Anchorage site, and that stands to reason. Now, we've been seeing a lot of focus on the meeting hall when defending the basement from most regions, and I'm guessing we're going to see something similar here for Millenium. They have brought a Mira, which is pretty freaking typical for a basement hold. They also have a Capcan, though, and that, to me, screams West Side Roam. but that's a dangerous prospect. We've seen some successful rest side roams in the past. It's still, though, not the easiest thing to pull off.
No, and Capkin figuring into this is going to be a big question mark for me, because this doesn't seem like the type of site that I would layer with lots of Capkin traps.
Like I said, the only situation where I see Capcan being overly useful is if you're going to be roaming over in the west.
Right.
Like, other than that, all of the doors that are being contended will be contended for, or contested rather, for a long time.
Right.
Like, you're going to have people staring at the door frame for like 30 seconds, and then, oh, look, there's a Capcan. It's not likely that they're going to see use. So I think this might be just a preference pick, given that we aren't seeing anything going on the west side right now from, oh, nope, there it is, Capcan, west side, going to be putting it down into the kitchen, and this is exactly the situation where I think he could be actually very useful.
And what I was gonna mention is that, as well, a lot of the ways to get inside rely on those white stairs, in which somebody will usually throw a grenade to take care of the barbed wire, which will also take care of the Capcan trap, but also the hatches being the main way for you to get into the basement, which, of course, as of right now, at least you can't throw a Capcan trap there. But we'll see. The experiment with Ella doesn't work out. Meepy gets lead-off kill in round number 1 of map number 2. And down goes the roaming play, and sno0ken already putting themselves in good position. You can see Liven just behind that mattress inside of kids' dorms. Renewal's doing some bobbing and weaving as he's looking to try to maybe get Liven, who I'm not certain if he's been droned out yet or not. But regardless, they will start to pressure in on him. It looks like Lackey is going to go for it as well. And Renshiro, the Capcan, goes down. He still has some charges. You can see Renewals will need to check those doorways. And that's one thing that Capcan does bring, which is uncertainty.
Yeah, and the uncertainty in this instance, that gamble not paying off for the defenders. Liven, the last roamer, left alive on the west side. Roam unsuccessful, truly and wholly. It did not waste time, nor did it get a single kill. And he's going to have to fall back to Meeting Hall. Inside of Meeting Hall, he doesn't have a lot of defensible positions either. There's not a lot of utility placed for him to be able to survive here. He's actually going to get aggressive onto Secretly. Secretly's not going to expect this. Liven will get the diffuser as well as a kill onto Secretly, denying the Habana any of those drop downs being opened up. Getting a little bit more aggressive, he's going to push into the hallway, the main hallway, and Lackey will be trying to address him from behind. He will see the head of the Jaeger, not get the shot, but it will finally come through. Lackey with half HP will eventually get the diffuser. A C4, I think?
That was a Capcan trap.
Was it a Capcan trap?
Absolutely
no way.
Was.
None of the attackers coming through that doorway yet in the round, and the Capcan trap will down Lackey. Unfortunately, though, it's not ultimately going to mean anything. It will waste 10 seconds, nothing more, as Lackey was already pretty much on half HP, and now he's effectively just been reset.
And Meepy and them will begin their push now in through Meeting Hall. We hit the minute mark. It leaves up Steezy and Ares as the Mira and Legion. And of course, don't discredit the fact that you still have all of those goo mines in play. And one of the things that works with the site is the ability to hit them. Now, Lackey is going to inch around the corner. Steezy is waiting, but looks away at the last second, and he'll get flushed out. A great shot from Meepy leaves just Ares. The Mira will have to do a 1v3. And has that Mira as an advantage. A C4 will go out and pushes nothing there as Meepy starts to get in towards the Mira window. Ares can see the tip of his head. Looks around the corner, doesn't see him. What is going on? Meepy looks again, and the Mira doesn't prevail. Meepy, a great second kill. And sno0ken wins round number 1 and puts themselves 4 rounds away from closing this out.
An aggressive round as well from sno0ken and more aggression from Millenium. I can't say that that was the right decision. Roaming 3 people west side, that's too dangerous. I mean, we've talked about it before in the past. One single person on the west, upstairs or downstairs, is a risk, and I don't know if it's worth taking ever. 3 people, that is a huge gamble. They really threw everything into that pot, and it did not pay out.
And that is going to continue our trend of the attackers dominating so far. Only 2 defensive wins out of the 8 rounds that we've played so far today. So only a quarter of the rounds have gone to the teams that have been defending. And now sno0ken going to defense. We'll try to make that 3 out of potentially 9.
Defense of the top floor here instead of the basement. Like you said, it's good variation, but I don't know if it's going to be the right call here from sno0ken either. Similar to how we had Millenium go to the basement and then roam hard. Is this the right call to open yourself up like this? I think it is. I think sno0ken will probably have a better bet of defending top floor if they're going to roam into the kitchen, but at the same time, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see if it pays out for them. They do have a good setup for it, though. Valkyrie is going to give you a lot of information, especially on the north side of the building when you can throw a camera outside, which is exactly what Lackey is looking to do right this second. Doesn't even matter where it lands. If it lands in the open field, it's still going to get you a lot of info.
Unless it breaks because it goes out of bounds.
Unless it breaks, yeah. You know it didn't used to? It used to be, wow, an aggressive spawn peek from Meepy using that ACOG of the dock to take out the Blackbeard early on. That's a very important operator to have off the field. Means now you can think about nothing but headshots. You don't have to worry about that face shield.
There are 3 opportunities for a Blackbeard to wreak havoc there. On that big window, which they won't be able to do. You can't perch them up there anymore. On the windows in kids' dorms, to try and flush you out, now you might see the sledge go there and throw a grenade in, or to push down through Armory. None of those available for them now. It's going to make their push a lot more difficult.
Yeah, but as I was trying to talk about, it was it used to be that the Valkyrie cams was or it used to be the Valkyrie cams when they hit outbounds, they instead of getting broken, they just kind of fell down. So you could throw a Valkyrie cam as far as you could, right, outside, and it would just hit the out of bounds and hit the floor and be like really hard to spot. So that was a good change that they implemented.
I'm happy with it too, and Lackey's going to be able to get 0 damage here. That is, I would say, a waste of both of those grenades. You would usually see them try to push somebody in kids' dorms there. Once again, now Millenium have just wasted 2 tools to try to push out one of the defenders or more, in with Renshiro passing and then the grenades being of no use as well.
Yeah, plus you still have sno0ken Nose positioned well inside of the junk tower, and with control over small tower, you don't really have to think too much about any pressure coming from the main west window. And now sno0ken's going to get a kill onto Steezy, and it's looking even worse now for Millenium. You even have secretly at the bottom of tower stairs waiting for the push to come from Millenium, and you can see that they're still working on tower control with 2 minutes of the round almost passing.
sno0ken will get downed. You can see the smoke goes down inside of kids' dorms, but they're unable to finish him off. But Yogurts gets a kill on the secretly, so the flank will not work. Lackey is going to wait on the other side of Attic. They thought they knew he was up there, and they weren't able to get him with both of the frag grenades of Steezy. He'll now try to waste some time, and do so quite well he will. Renewal's still waiting to see a push through that broken window. You can see just inside of office storage. Lackey's going to give up that Attic. A smart move now is he's been able to kill 20 seconds, not 20 minutes, but 20 seconds off the clock. That would be quite a hold.
Yeah.
And now he's just going to wait because he still has that opportunity for them to push all the way up and get them on the other rotate hole that leads in towards the main hallway. Liven has exited the building looking to come back in. Renewals is poised to potentially get him if he goes in through the side of small tower. And now Yogurt's being able to advance strongly through Attic. Final 20 seconds in round number 2. sno0ken Nose looking to put themselves up by 2 instead of 1. You can see those smoke grenades will go down. Renewal's trying to get anybody pushing up to the big window. He sees Ares, goes for a peek, can't do it, but he's just going to waste some time. Yogurts gets 1, but 2 as Meepy and Renewals get kills for sno0ken Nose. It's just Liven who on the stairs will be downed by Meepy. He got the first kill and the last, and now sno0ken Nose not only wins a defensive round, but also continues to inch closer to wrapping this up.
Yeah, it's been a while since actually it's been a long time since Millenium has won a round. That's, I think, 6 rounds. No, it's 7 rounds in a row for sno0ken Nose. So they are very much seemingly dominant on this series.
It's been good from them, and they did very well at the start, and I thought that watching the beginning of Coastline, I thought to myself, we got ourselves a ball game. This is going to go quite the distance. But sno0ken Nose has been outpacing them almost every single way, and with how attacker favored this has been, now they go to attack, a potential to put them up 3-0.
And as you can see there, Meepy, as we were talking about earlier, one of those players that seriously stands out from the pack, a diamond in the rough on sno0ken Nose. He does a lot of work for his team. I think he's one of the lead strategists, one of the IGLs as well, and then also some of the best name in the game. Also
just a nice, charming bloke with a wonderful accent. And it's been nice to always hear him when he does his interviews. So get the major commendation, as I said. So with that, they will go downstairs. Because Millenium, of course, has not been successful on any site so far. They are capable of going where they choose. They will opt for the safety and security of laundry and supply room into the basement. Something touched upon can often be a very wise choice, as Renshiro tosses out at least 1 black eye and still has a second left at his disposal too, and will opt to put it under the table just inside of the living room / dining hall. sno0ken knows very wary of any potential peeks. That's one thing, too, is that it sets the tone. When you get a spawn kill or a spawn peek or anything along those lines, expect your opponents to do the same. They spot one of those black eyes very, very well and take it off the front of that school bus.
Didn't even have to use the IQ for that one, but as something to note is we've been seeing a lot of IQ play, and I think it's a direct answer to the cap cans that have been brought as of late. Millenium not going to choose to bring cap can in this instance. They are typically a team that tends to stick to the older meta. It works for them though, because coupled with their aggression, as you can see Renshiro displaying quite flagrantly right here as he challenges onto the bottom of White Stairs window. Coupled with their aggression, it usually pays out dividends for them. Now, the attackers going to be contending pretty much every single angle, and there's still a very present roam game going on the west side for Millenium, which previously has been taken apart, I would say, pretty efficiently from sno0s, and you could see that Millenium's invested slightly less this time than they have in the past. Renshiro's playing inside of classroom instead of upstairs with the rest of his teammates, but I think he's been spotted out. Renewal's going to get a kill on Diagerts, and Lackey going to nade Renshiro in just a second, only doing a lot of damage, not getting the kill or the down, and Renshiro will trade with Lackey. Meepy's following up with the kill, but that should have just been a 5-3 situation right there instead of it being a 4-3 now.
I don't think Lackey was prepared for the Valkyrie to get up and challenge him the way they did. But now Steezy has given his position away. Luckily has that rotate hole through the attic to be able to get back onto site. But Meepy can simply wait. You see the drone will work its way over towards Steezy to try and find him out, as Meepy is ready to embrace him and will push up towards the rear stage and tower stairs where the Legion sits before he jogs on down into the halls next to supply room and laundry room in the basement.
Contesting the meeting hall, but there's no one from defense there to address the push. Two of the defenders all the way down in the basement. Meanwhile, Liven all the way above the main lobby. I don't think he's been spotted by the defenders, and he's going to be above the attackers. He's going to be up two of them right now. Secretly, Renewal's completely exposed to Liven, but he's waiting for the perfect opportunity. He's going to down Renewals and finish him off from above, and now he's giving away his position. He's going to have to rotate through attic over to tower before it's being spotted by Meepy, and Meepy, unfortunately, unable to hit the shots, uncharacteristic of him, as the rest of his team pushes into the bomb site, attempting to plant the diffuser inside of B. 10 seconds though, and Steezy's gonna get a kill into secretly. Meepy a refrag before Ares gets to one of his own. sno0ken now another refrag. Back and forth here between these two teams, but Liven, the last one alive, is gonna be able to come back from behind and drop down in the hallway. The mark will give away this planting sno0ken, and that is all she wrote. Millenium getting their first round in a long time and putting themselves finally on the board.
And it will be Millenium's first defensive win so far today, and it comes in round number 10.
And not only their first defensive win, but also their first win in 8 rounds. That's pretty substantial.
Very
and
substantial.
Hopefully for them, it will be a shift in the momentum, allowing them to push it onto Skyscraper.
Right.
Only time will tell, though. We're only 3 rounds in. This has been a pretty fast map, similar to Coastline, what we saw earlier. And Millenium are looking much better, at least so far. Now, a lot of that last round has to do with the fact that sno0s didn't commit to clearing out the roamers the same way they did last time. They got a little bit distracted on that first floor and didn't actually take anything from the top floor of the west side of the building. Because of that, Liven was allowed to just kind of linger. I mean, he didn't really commit to pushing down to helping his teammates, but he ended up being the one who won the round for this team overall because he just waited patiently for Millenium, or sno0ken knows, excuse me, to ignore him.
And full accountability where it's due. Meepy had a wonderful opportunity to pick Liven off on those stairs and just simply missed his first couple shots. And at that point, wasn't able to do enough work. And yes, 8 kills right now, a Herculean effort on part of him to keep sno0ken knows afloat and really doing a great job. If he gets shut down, that is a problem for this team each round. And now on attack goes Millenium. Largely through construction is where they will spawn. Take out the default cams, even though their spawn location will be largely given out now. And Meepy considering even going for a spawn peek. He was successful before, but it might be too late in the round for him to attempt it.
Since this window isn't already prepped, if he starts to try and prep it now, it will be watched for the next 30 seconds in all likelihood, considering Millenium is so invested on the north side of this tower. You can tell there's 3 of the attackers here waiting to take control over a big tower, and once they have asserted that control, they will likely start to push in through the stairs and the construction tunnel. That is, at least appears to be Millenium's strategy moving into this round.
And softening up that wall is the Blackbeard of Renshiro, who has been an early casualty of a number of rounds, but will live past the 45-second mark.
Oh,
Steezy
wow.
gets up, and just outside of range of Meepy, can't see quite over top of him, but they will now drone him out, and you'll see he'll need to retreat.
Smart play, though, from Meepy not getting too aggressive on that angle. He could have just been a couple inches higher, and he would have seen the head of that sledge, but I think it's the safe bet to play passive as he did. Now, sno0ken, similar to Millenium, have invested quite a lot in their west side roam, but Millenium is just ignoring it full force. Liven going to get the first kill of the round onto Secretly. Renewals a refrag onto Liven, so that's a successful roam game already, especially considering half the round has progressed here.
And all you've lost is your Jaeger, too, but you've now lost Liven, one of the best players, of course, on Millenium, and your Ash down, too, who was able to clutch it out last round, and now Renewals still reigns from above. But they're poised and ready to take care of them. The push will come through the back, and I'm not entirely certain why, but they are still wasting a lot of time. They have not been able to get the hatches, but you can hear from the audio in the background that that is something that they finally get to do. They have not gotten the hatch inside of main lobby, and of course, this is a very north-heavy push. Not a lot of emphasis whatsoever on anybody in main lobby, and you've got to think that this could be a big mistake.
There's only 2 anchors right now from sno0ken, so if the aggression gets really turned into, if it gets turned up right now from Millenium and they start pushing into the bomb site, they might be able to catch the sno0ken's defense off guard if they can get just these 2 frags onto Meepy and sno0ken, but the rotations are coming back from Renshiro and Lackey.
And you can see Meepy is ready to strike just outside of that bomb casing, waiting for one to push in. He does see Steezy, and he's just going to try to bait him as he peeks slowly, and Steezy goes down. That's Diffuser as well. Renshiro will have to tag up and pick it up. And of course, even as deadly accurate as that ACOG can be, you don't want to tussle with that shield of a Blackbeard. Ares will look around the corner. Yogurts gets a kill. Meepy will get another. A good round from him. He's going to get pushed from 2 angles, and Yogurts takes him down as Yogurts gets 2. And Renewals jumps in. Down goes Yogurts. Renshiro done, and sno0ken knows on a clutch from Renewals will put sno0ken knows up 3-1.
An excellent round there for sno0ken, but honestly, you got to attribute that loss to Millenium's play. What did they do there? They took 2 minutes to clear out the tower and the meeting hall, and then in the last 45 seconds of the round started pushing into the bomb site, having done 0 work on the roam game. I mean, okay, not 0 work. They took out the Jaeger, fair enough, but it was refragged, right? It wasn't an advantageous position for the attackers. It, in fact, was bad. It was to their detriment that they even got that kill because of what they had to give up in Lackey. So not Lackey, excuse me, Liven. So overall, a lack of a serious roam clear, and then a simple wasting of time when they're pushing in from the construction and the tower, plus Meepy and Renewal's performance so far, specifically Meepy though, has resulted in it being a very significant lead in favor of sno0ken knows.
They were not able to catch Renewals as he lingered above, and then he was able to retake that site, which is something that we've said on a couple occasions, is that you ignore certain roamers at your peril, and Renewals was able to come in and strike, getting those final 2 kills to clutch it out.
Right, yeah, they were unable, but it seems like they didn't even try too. And that's the problem, is because they're not even trying to clear out those roam. I mean, arguably, inarguably, the best way to attack the basement by ignoring the roam game is probably just to attack through construction and tower. But if you're going to do that, you have to position somebody inside of meeting hall to deny the roamers later in the round. And there wasn't that person from Millenium. It was a simple no holds barred push in through the tower hallway and the construction tunnel, or not even the construction tunnel, just the tower hallway, which is kind of worrisome. I don't know. It was kind of a one sort of push.
And it was a good push. Now, mind you, we don't see a lot of success from construction pushes usually.
We really don't.
Not at all. And it's fallen out of favor largely because of the changes made to Ying and the changes with smokes. It's a lot more beneficial for you to decide to go for a push from that main hatch in main lobby. But in an occasion like this, you wound up with a pretty valiant effort that ultimately bared no fruit.
Much like that nade from Lackey, which will explode a little bit too early. timed for way too long, and as a result, we're going to have Steezy still alive inside of those lockers. Renshiro elsewhere is going to take out Renewals. That's a good kill there. Millenium putting up a lot of fight here on the bottom of the west side of this floor. Renshiro, though, peeking into Secretly is going to get taken out, and Lackey another kill onto Steezy, and the sno0ken knows flexing their muscles again and establishing the dominance that we've been seeing so flagrantly displayed in this match so far.
And that's 2 roamers down as well, you know, and you had them both bandied up by bathroom and then one just inside of dining hall, and they didn't last very long, 1 bit.
I have to say, honestly, I feel like Steezy and Renshiro there just getting a little ahead of themselves, peeking unnecessary angles instead of just waiting, because there's not a lot of time left in this round. 1 minute. It took sno0ken knows a lot of time to get those kills, but it could have been so much more. Except the aggression that we're seeing from Millenium just is not paying off for them. And it's typical Millenium, though. Usually this works for them. It's just not in the circumstance, and when we need to see them mix things up.
sno0ken is proving to have, or sno0ken knows rather, is proving to have a very good set of counters. And you'll have to work on the Liven, Aries, and Yogurt's combo that remains for them at the moment. You see Yogurts and Aries are both wedged on site, and they just need to find the pulse now of Liven, who is going to be the true wild card here. Of course, the smoke inside of Kids' Dorms is nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. Liven going to come up, and wow, what a shot from Meepy. He will add to the 10 kills that he already has, and he's going to get Yogurts too, so it's just up to Aries, who Meepy will choke through that gas before having to back off. Aries in great position. He gets Secretly as he vaults through the window, tries to go for another, and sno0ken takes him down. On match point we go, and what a performance from sno0ken on Oregon so far.
Honestly, I'm really surprised right now by this scoreline. 4-1 match point. I was thinking this was going to be map number 3, and I was also thinking that sno0ken knows was going to be putting up more of a fight on Oregon of all maps, one of the most commonly played maps in the entire Pro League through every region, than on Coastline. But surprises happen, and Millenium seemingly just off their game today. Right now, sno0ken knows on it as well, especially Meepy with, I believe, 12 kills right now. Very impressive performance coming out from him. Interestingly, he's going to be playing Doc on this round, which is funny because he's been playing with Hollow on Ashe.
Meepy, though, has been running a lot of ACOGs on defense, to be fair. We saw him on Rook, and we saw him on Doc on Coastline, so nothing...
It's just weird. It's counterintuitive to the typical site picks for most players. Usually you're going to see ACOGs on attack, Hollows on defense, or Reflexes on defense, or what have you. But Meepy really standing apart, going for ACOG on defense and Hollow on attack. It just kind of... I think it sings to his play style, is what it is. He's a very aggressive player with some great aim, and you can see it's been working out for him in both defense and attack.
A great job so far today by the Brit, and a masterful performance as he is currently sitting at 12-2.
Yeah, but there is a lot to be attributed to the rest of his team as well, because it's not just Meepy doing all this work. You know, you've got everyone from sno0s putting in a lot of effort with the droning as well as getting their kills of their own. You got to remember the support players. They exist, and if it weren't for them, it would be a much, much harder game, I'm sure.
I'm waiting for somebody to wander out just by that police barricade. Liven might actually take the fight, and it looks like he's going to.
Uh-oh.
He gets spotted. What a kill from Meepy to open up this round. Liven not even paying attention, and that is exactly why the ACOG proves to be so fearsome. And Meepy now will get, I think that is either his 2nd or 3rd spawn kill this matchup.
Yeah, he's been pretty aggressive, I would say, in a word, on both attack and defense. And sno0ken gonna get another kill onto Aries. And now a 5-on-3 match point. It's looking like a pretty, I'm going to be honest, a completely dominant performance here from sno0s as sno0ken vaults outside, takes out Steezy, now a 2-on-5. And it doesn't even, yep, there it is. The refrag will come out. Thankfully for Yogurts, that is very important. If he had been allowed, if sno0ken had been allowed to get away with that, it would have been, I think, the end of the match. But there's still potential. 2 versus 4, it's not impossible. You do have still a Blackbeard on the main west window, and he's going to be contesting onto the A bomb site. It's really just on sno0ken knows to not peek and wait patiently to win this round.
Yep, and this could be the end right here. A quick jiggle peek onto the Blackbeard of Renshiro will not prove to get anything at all, and Renshiro gets his shield broken and looks to try to pick away at that window. You can see Yogurts now waiting to see if Renewals or anybody else is going to try to push up through that tower, and he is in good position to strike. Renewals coming up, and Yogurts just waits.
This is really unfortunate to see. Renewals has done this a lot, and he will finally be shut down, but Meepy elsewhere will take out Renshiro, now it's all down to Yogurts. Now, okay, Meepy gonna get another kill. That's, I think, 15 kills.
15 kills.
15 kills for Meepy.
What a wonderful showing.
Yeah, but I just want to talk about how that angle he's challenging right now, that's not supposed to work. That is one of the most commonly peaked angles that are from a player at the top of white stairs, and it's unfortunate to see Millenium unable to shut that down, especially Renshiro on a Blackbeard. That's like you win that fight, man.
You win that fight 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, Meepy just outperforming right now, but also importantly, something's going on with Millenium. It wasn't their day today, and it will be a 2-0 in favor of sno0ken.